swear everyone can be happy. It's the most beautiful place in the whole fucking world. It's made of candy canes and planes and bright red choo-choo trains and the meanest little boys, most innocent little girls. And you know, I wish that I could go there. It's a road that I have not found. And I wish you the
Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to work.
Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I am Jordan, and today I'm going to talk about me being so goddamn right. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The GoFundMe link is in the description box. Click the link, read the story, check out the other donations. I saw some of you assholes on there donating. Good for you. It's a charity for one of our subscribers and his wife. Helps them pay medical bills. So if you want to donate, please do so at Devon's Journey to Recovery. GoFundMe link in the description box. Shout out to you asshole donators, you motherfuckers. Alright, so what do I mean by I was right? Well, I like to do certain things first, right? When I'm talking about any figure in any discipline, but, you know, recently a lot more political stuff. So when I'm talking about a political figure like Bernie Sanders, I will, okay, what are his intentions? Does he mean to do well? After we figure out that question, I move on to, okay, how good are his ideas or how bad are his ideas? In fact, I've said the same thing about Ron Paul. I said, I believe he means to do well. And then we'll look at his ideas of how he plans to help things, right? If we understand your initial motive is to help people, after that it's just a debate about how do we go about this. Is Ron right? Is Bernie right? Is it a mixture of their ideas? It's like, oh, that sounds like utopia, right? That sounds like the perfect world to me, is when everyone means well and we just argue about how we go about it. So yeah, here is going to be Ron Paul explaining that he does have some form of kinship with Bernie Sanders. I think the kinship is based on intentions, moral intentions. Here we go.
I know you disagree on a lot of things, but is there a part of you that feels a kinship with Senator Sanders?
Yeah, there is, because he stands on principle, and on occasion we agree on those principles. Because we used to kid each other, we would support some legislation, and people would say, how are you doing this with a socialist? I said, we're both against corporatism. We're both against the special benefits to big business, which was true. But, his answer to that wouldn't always be the same. Mine would always drift to the free market, and his would drift to, well, we need more government to redistribute. Well, but we could...
Yeah. Right. He's using political language, but what he means by that is, I think he means corruption, right? Special interests, corporate lobbyists, corporatism, right? What does that mean? Like, oh, greed? This legal form of bribery called lobbies and shit? You know, I think he's talking about corruption. So, two guys from different political ideologies both have the same, similar moral principles, as in, hey, this is wrong, and I intend to do well, so we can both look at this as wrong. Thus, we would work to get rid of those type of people, the corrupt assholes, or the ignorant ones following their ideas. There's like 10 seconds left. Sorry.
Both attack subsidies to large corporations or the military redistribute. Well, but we could both attack subsidies to large corporations or the military-industrial complex. So in that sense, there is a kinship. Matter of fact, I believe...
I know you disagree.
I cut off right there. But yeah, in some sense, you can say there's a kinship. I hope, where the clip got cut off, he's not like, you know what, I take all that back. I hate Bernie Sanders. He just cut the clip off there. Gotta make Bernie look good. But yeah, if if what he means is all in this little clip right here, it's like, yeah, it's kind of what I've been saying. And you'll have dum-dums going, oh, why don't you cover the right wing? It's like, well, first of all, for me, there's a hierarchy of attention, of things I'm paying attention to, right? Now you have one of the biggest politicians in the country, who also, in my mind, seems to mean well, right? You have a Bernie Sanders there, or even an Andrew Yang and a Tulsi Gabbard, who are in the mainstream, but also seem like people who mean well. Like, oh, well, what about the right? I mentioned Ron Paul a decent amount when I'm talking about people who mean well that are in the political thing, right? I mention Ron Paul almost every time. Someone who means well, someone who means well, and they're trying to develop policy for the sake of helping people, right? They just have different ways to go about it, right? Bernie's not the same as Yang, who's not the same as Tulsi, who's not the same as Ron Paul, but they'll probably all look at Hillary Clinton and be like, corrupt piece of shit. Bernie won't say it out loud. Yang won't say it out loud, but the other two will fucking say it out loud. But I think all four of them would probably come to that agreement. Like, yeah, that's a corrupt asshole. Let's get her out of the way so that we can all argue amongst each other to try to make the world a better place. Make sense? Cool. Why don't you cover the right wing? I told you. Politics is not my thing. I hope that when I talk about political topics, sometimes it sounds strictly like politics, but usually I drop little things in here and there to where it's like, okay, there's something else to this. Is he trying to talk about right and wrong as opposed to Medicare for all versus single payer plus, or, corporate capitalism versus socialism? Is it just going on right and wrong? That's where I feel like I'm trying to go. But whatever. That's it for me. Please subscribe if you like. Comment. Agree. Disagree. Was I right? Was I wrong? Is intention sort of like probably the first thing you would look for, right? In regards to a politician or how you deal with people. Even if, like I say this all the time, even if it's a guess, like consider the guess and put it in your mind as a guess, right? Like, oh, I think this person means well. It's like, okay, do I know that? Okay, no, I don't know that. But you want to keep that thing there in your mind. Don't let it float away into the subconscious, because then you'll start, I think he means well, is somewhere floating in your subconscious. Now you start behaving that way without realizing it was that thought back there. That's when, like, a lot of team playing comes into play, right? There's just something about him I really like. But yeah, understand that it's a guess, but keep it there in your conscious mind so you can make assessment, make a diagnosis. Don't forget to donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery GoFundMe link in the description box. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.